Men. Welcome to Brook. As always, it's a pleasure to have you. My name is Pastor Kim, hosting you on Brook here on Ushirikatv. Now, leo we want to discuss something very interesting, very interesting for all men, but also cuts across everyone. So, as much as we're in Brook today, it's also something that can also help families and also help businesses. Let me start with a scripture that some of us know, and we use it in very different ways. Matthew 22:21. Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. And so today on Brook, we are discussing giving to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, giving our taxes and paying our taxes to the government as we are supposed to. And so today on Brook, I'm joined by a tax expert, and our guest today is Paul Mwangi. He's an auditor and accountant, and also a tax expert. Karibu sana Bwana Paul.
Thank you.
Unaweza jitambulisha kidogo?
Yeah, thank you very much, Pastor. My name is Paul Mwangi Muriuki. As our pastor has said, I'm an expert, tax expert, and also an auditor. It is interesting to be here, and thank God for you.
Thank you. Asante sana. So all the men watching, I know once in a while we found ourselves in situations where you need a tax compliance certificate, you need you need to be guided, you need to do returns. And we actually headed to the month of June. And this is very timely. So we are headed to the month of June where we need to be doing our tax returns. And so today, as we speak about tax, it will also guide us on a number of things that we need to be doing in matters relating to tax. So on Kuanzia, maybe our guest Paul, you can tell us and maybe mention something about tax. What is tax? What is the biblical aspect of tax? And then we can be able to proceed.
Okay, thank you. We can say that the issue of taxes is something that started a long time ago. As we have quoted in the Bible, in the book of Matthew and Mark, Jesus said that give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and unto God what belongs to God. And in our country, Kenya, we can say that collection of taxes started in the year 1974. Okay. And you know very well that for government to function, you have to pay taxes. For government to perform various roles and duties, the citizens, they have to make sure that they support that government by paying taxes. So taxation is not bad, as people maybe seems to believe. It is not bad, sin. And it is not a sin. Yeah.
Okay. You said how taxation began, and also in the Bible, and also we see a number of importances of paying tax.
Yeah.
I don't know whether, even before we proceed to the types of taxes that we have, maybe you can just mention a few importances.
Okay.
Why, as citizens, as men, we need to support the government by paying taxes.
Yeah. There are very many importances of paying tax. One of the main importances is that when we pay taxes, the government is able to pay the employees, the civil servants. That is one of the main importance of paying taxes. The other one is that when we pay taxes, our education system is also enhanced, because for the government to pay the teachers, all the other staff, we have to give or to pay taxes to the government. The other one is that infrastructure. We have to get good roads, good communication. This one is all enhanced by the taxes that we pay to the government. We have very many, and also we have improved healthcare. When we pay taxes, the health system in our country is also improved. These are some of the importances. We have very many, but we can mainly focus on the education system, the healthcare, we have infrastructure, and also we help the government to build the nation.
That is quite interesting, because sometimes we feel like government iko pale, sisi tuko hapa, government itafute pesa, and yet we are the same people complaining.
Yeah.
I know the government has a duty to appropriate the money without corruption.
Yeah.
I'm not saying inatetea corruption, but also as citizens, you also have a duty.
Yeah.
If you want our children to go to school, if you want to go to hospitals and get services, we also have to do our part of paying taxes. Yeah, so I think it has come out very well, especially men tukienda kuketi, Paul, tunasemanga serikali hakuna kitu inafanya, na sisi pengine tujiuliza na sisi tunafanya nini kusaidia serikali. Okay.
And Pastor, it's also good to note that taxation is not bad. It is only bad when the system tends to be punitive, and if the taxes are excessive.
Okay.
But for the right rates of taxes, we are supposed to pay taxes so that we can support our government.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said something about punitive.
Yeah.
In comparison, what do you think? Do you think, just a digression before we get to the types of taxes, do you think Kenyans, we are heavily taxed, or just as a tax expert, when you look in comparison with other nations, we are not talking about first world, we are talking about developing like us. What do you think are we average, are we on the high scale, or are we on the low scale?
What I can say about our country, Kenya, is that we are at average.
No.
We are not very highly taxed, but again, people keep on complaining that the rates are high.
Okay.
But it is not that high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Then on today's show, we will discuss a bit about the types of taxes that we have, and after that, in subsequent shows, we'll discuss about the importances and also the benefits that you get when you pay taxes, and we'll also discuss about dispute resolution. Maybe you have a dispute in your tax area. As you've mentioned, Paul is a tax expert, and he can also guide us on how to resolve disputes. So on today's show, we will discuss a number of taxes that are there, and then in subsequent shows, we'll also discuss the other benefits that are there, and definitely dispute resolution. So back to you, Paul. What are some of the types of tax that we have in Kenya?
Thank you, Pastor. It's good to note that even before we go to the types of taxes that we have in Kenya, the body that is vested with the power of collection and assessing taxes in Kenya is Kenya Revenue Authority. They can collect and they can also assess. When I use the two terms, collect and assessing. Assessing means that the government, if you fail to pay taxes and you are in business, the government can assess you. They can issue an additional assessment to you, and you have to pay the taxes.
And I hear nowadays they go even to social media.
Yeah.
Kenya is watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's important for everyone. If you are in a business, make sure that you are compliant. Make sure that you are paying the taxes in order for you to be compliant. Yeah, Pastor, now let us go to the type of taxes that we have in Kenya.
Yes.
In Kenyan law, you can fight this one in the Income Tax Act, Cap 470.
Okay.
Yeah, it talks about the various types of taxes that we have in Kenya. The first and the major one is the corporate tax.
Corporate tax.
Yeah, we normally call it income tax. Corporate tax is a tax that all companies, or an individual, or a person is supposed to pay to the government annually at a rate of 30%. Yeah, at a rate of 30%. Yeah.
And this is it income, all income? Is it on profit? When we say corporate tax, are we saying it's the income I have made, or it is a profit, or what is that 30%? What is it pegged on?
Yeah, thank you for that. For corporation tax, in business, the companies mainly have a turnover at the end of each and every year. Then they will deduct all the expenses from the turnover in order to end up with a profit.
Yes.
You can either end up with a profit or a loss.
Okay.
So when you have a profit, you have to submit 30% of that profit to the government.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So if you make a loss,
if you make a loss, you have a credit. But unfortunately, the KRA will not give you that.
it cannot pay you for making losses.
Yeah, yeah. But in your account, it will be a credit.
Oh,
yeah.
So in subsequent years, if you make a profit,
yeah,
will it deduct? If I this year I make a profit, I'm supposed to pay tax, corporate tax, 30,000.
Yeah.
Last year, I made a loss.
Yeah.
And the credit was 20,000.
Yeah.
Will it net off and I'm told to pay only 10,000?
Yeah, the credit is yours,
yes.
So it will assist you.
Okay.
It will be deducted from your the amount that you have to pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's quite good, because sometimes when we make losses, we do not do returns on losses.
Yeah.
Saying in any case I didn't make a profit.
Yeah.
So yet it's something that would have helped you in the years that you make profits.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. And when is this? I think as we discuss tax, and to the viewers, it's also good to know that tax have due dates. Sometimes you get penalized because you have missed a due date.
Yeah.
So when is the due date for corporate tax?
The due date for corporate tax is on 30th June of every year.
30th June.
Yeah, 30th June. You are supposed to file these taxes on or before 30th June of every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is this? I don't know whether I'll be jumping the gun, but how is this related to? We are told to file returns even when you are employed.
Yeah.
How is this related to that?
To an individual.
Yes.
Yeah. As I was explaining what is corporate tax.
Yes.
I said that corporation tax is a tax that is paid by a company, individual, or a person.
Okay.
Individual and a person, they are almost the same thing. So for individuals, you have to make sure that by 30th of June, what you earn, you have to file, you have to report your accounts to the government by filing if you are in a gainful employment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's so that is why we get the and you need to get from your employer.
Yeah, you have to get a P9 form from your employer. Then you have to source for a good person, an auditor or a tax expert who can file the returns for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you're in business, how do you know what to pay?
If you're in business,
yes,
you are employed and you're also in business.
No. If it's we can have actually both scenarios.
Yeah.
I'm employed, I have the P9,
yeah.
I'm also in business. Yeah. So do I file as one or do I file as different entities?
When you are in business and you're also employed, you have to cater for the two. Okay. There is a way that we do it, that we incorporate the two. Okay. The income from the business and also the income from employment. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. What a learning. What a learning so far on the corporate income tax. And I think it's positive that the Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And sometimes because of lack of knowledge, we get ourselves penalized. We missed a due date. We did not know about P9 forms. Or you're an employer and you have employees. I think it's important for you to know that you need to provide the P9 forms so that they are also able to do the taxes. Maybe before we go on a break, Paul, we can get one more type of tax and then we proceed.
So before we go to that one, it's
yes,
good to note that 30% is only applicable for resident companies.
Okay.
The companies that are within Kenya.
Okay.
The resident companies. But for the non-residents, there are other companies that are from other countries that have branches here in Kenya. The rate is that 7.5%.
Okay.
So for them, it's a bit higher compared to the companies located here in Kenya.
So I think this explains why when they come, they want to incorporate, even if it's a company, a multinational, they still register afresh in Kenya, as a subsidiary of that, but fully registered in Kenya to avoid the 7.5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we can go to the other type of tax, we can go to the value-added tax.
Okay.
Value,
VAT?
yeah, VAT.
Yes.
These are tax that is levied to all companies that are supplying taxable goods and services.
Okay.
Yeah.
VAT. We will hold our thought on VAT and then we'll be coming back to explain more about VAT. Najua tumekuwa tukisema VAT iko high, mafuta VAT imepanda, and right here on Ushirika TV, Mansbrook, our guest Paul will be explaining us more about VAT and how it is computed, and if you're in business, what you need to do about VAT. Don't touch that dial. This is Mansbrook on Ushirika TV. Paul Mwangi, a tax expert and auditor, was explaining to us various taxes. We had talked about corporate tax, and now he had introduced VAT. Maybe we can proceed, Bwana Paul, on what is VAT, how is it applied, and on what is it applied?
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you, Pastor. VAT, we also call it value-added tax.
Yes.
These are type of tax that all companies, all individuals pay on supply of taxable goods or services. Yeah.
Taxable meaning that there's a list of what it can be applied.
Yeah.
There's a list.
Yeah. In Kenya, we have a list of goods that are taxable, and we have others that are zero rated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how is it? Is it something that is in our control, or that is government? Like, for example, if I want to go buy something, is it me to say this is, or it's a government that has a list?
No. It's not you to say. It's a law in the income tax act that some of the goods are zero rated. A good example is they are the mosquito nets. They are zero rated, but most of the goods are vatable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so as a business person, how do I deal with VAT? Because if I sell goods that are vatable, how do I go about it? How do I report? How do I file returns on the VAT that I have collected, and how do I pay it?
In value-added tax, we have the input, and we also have the output.
Okay.
When you sell, you have to make sure that there is a tax on what you sell.
Okay.
16% of what you sell. Okay. You add it to that amount. And again, when you buy, there is the VAT now when you buy that you can claim. You report the sales with VAT. Okay. And also you report the purchases with the VAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it can net off at one point.
Yeah.
And also this brings a question on when we go to buy, we get a receipt called ETR. Is that part of the VAT Act, or what does it go in the line of the VAT?
Yeah, the Kenya Revenue Authority.
Yes.
They have introduced the ETR system so that for all the businesses, you can easily track the tax.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you buy an item or goods from maybe a shop,
yes,
there is that amount, the 16%. That is the VAT.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when you are reporting your taxes, when you are filing, you have to report that one as a purchase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it can actually be able now to net off.
Yeah.
And the ETR, ninauliza hivyo sababu sometimes tunaenda kununua vitu unaulizwa, unataka ETR?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kwa nini tunaulizangwa hivyo? Ama ni wale hawataki kucomply ama?
You know, when you are given the ETR,
yes,
the price will be higher.
Oh, because they have to include the 16%.
Yeah. But now without the ATR, the price will be a bit lower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Now we know. Thank you for opening our eyes, because some of these things we go through hatujui nini tunaulizwa.
Yeah.
So nasema hapana staki, na pengine already haujapewa ATR na pengine already ashaweka 16%.
It's good to note that it is illegal. If an item or a good is vatable, it is not legal for the person who is selling to you to sell to you without
an ETR.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the filing date for VAT?
The filing date for VAT is on all before 20th of every month.
Every month?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Again, knowledge is power. Sometimes we think that all returns and all filing is done at the end of the by June, and now we know VAT. If you are doing VAT business, by 20th of every month, you must file VAT returns.
Yes.
Wow, you have it there. Usigoje KRA wakuja waanze kukuambia uja file. You have it. You can be able to access a good auditor, a good accountant, a good tax expert to be able to advise on this. I don't know whether we are done on VAT.
It's also good to note that the corporate rate for VAT is 16%.
16%. Okay.
But we have other products such as petroleum products, like fuel, diesel. The rate is 8%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think this was by Parliament. I think there's a time there was a thing in Parliament where they wanted to put it to 16.
Yeah.
They agreed at 8%.
Yeah.
Okay. Now thank you, because we are understanding more.
Yeah.
Tunasikianga tu vitu hatujui nini inaendelea, now sasa tuna understand.
Yeah.
Asante sana Paul. Maybe another type of tax for our viewers?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have discussed the corporate tax and the value-added tax.
Yes.
Now we can discuss pay.
Wow.
Pay as you earn.
Yes.
This is a type of tax that it is levied to all employees who are in a gainful employment. And again, we don't have a specific rate for this type of tax, because the government normally uses the graduated scale.
Okay.
Yeah. For the wages, the pay does not apply.
Okay.
But for the salaries, the pay apply. Yes.
What do you mean by graduated scale?
We have a graduated scale whereby for those people who earn below 12,000, actually on 1st January, there has been a new graduated scale that the government has put in place through the Kenya Revenue Authority, that for those people who earn below 12,299 bob, they don't pay any pay.
Okay.
But for those from that level of 12,299 to 23,000, they pay at a rate of 15%.
Okay.
Yeah. If you are above 23,885, you pay at a rate of 20%. If you are above that 5,473, you pay at a rate of 25.
Okay. Yeah. So that continues now to any amount. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's good to know. That's good to know. So the higher you go, but it's capped at 30%. Yeah. There's no one who pays pay above 30%.
There's no one who pays above 30%.
Okay. Yeah. And also maybe, because I know the men watching, some are employed and some are employers. How do you make sure, or as an employer, how do you go about this pay? How do you deduct? How do you submit as an employer?
Yeah, it is the duty of every employer. If you have employees that qualify to pay the pay, it is your duty to make sure that you register with Kenya Revenue Authority for pay obligation. Then you have to make sure that before or on 9th, you have to file the returns.
9th of every month.
Yeah, 9th of every month. You have to file the returns and make sure that you pay to avoid the penalties and interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as an employee, how can you ascertain that your money is being paid? Because we know sometimes we have employers that will say, we'll deduct you on the payslip, but they don't remit. So as an employee, is there a way that I can find out that, yes, I've been deducted this year, and yes, my money has actually gone to KRA?
The only way that as an employee, you can ascertain that the money is being deducted, it's going to the iTax system, and you check your ledger. From your ledger, you'll be in a position to see whether the amount has been, it is being paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's a good one. Maybe in the interest of time, we can maybe go to the one last type of tax, and then we wrap up today.
Yeah.
Yes.
The last one is the monthly rental income.
Okay.
This is an interesting tax for all the persons or companies or an individual who owns an apartment.
Okay.
If you have houses that you have rented, you have to make sure that you submit 10% of what you want to the government. Yeah.
So it's give to Caesar 10%, give to God 10%.
Yeah. So for the VAT is 16%.
Yeah.
For the monthly income, rental income is 10% of what you want.
Now, can I deduct and pay as a tenant, or it is a
as a tenant, it's not your duty.
Okay. It's not my obligation. I'll not be penalized anywhere if I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
The person who is supposed to pay this type of tax is the person who is owning the property.
Okay.
If you have a property, you have to make sure that by 20th of every month, you submit the returns and you remit the 10% to the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, quick one. Is there a threshold? If I have a house that the rental income is, say, 5,000, do I still have to submit 500 per month?
Actually, for the monthly rental income,
yes,
we don't have a threshold.
Oh.
But most of the people don't pay these taxes. But as long as you have a rental income, you have a property that is generating income for you, you are supposed to limit this tax to the government.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Quite a great learning man out there. To avoid getting into issues, KRA coming and clamping your houses and saying that you are due millions of money, I think it's good to just do what is supposed to be done and remit what is supposed to be remitted. And I think we'll wrap it at that. Thank you so much, Paul. We've discussed to the men that have joined us the importance of paying tax, the biblical aspect of paying tax, why we need to pay tax as individuals, and different things, different types of tax. We've talked about corporate tax, we've talked about VAT, we've talked about payee, we've talked about the last one, very interesting, monthly rental income, yenye tunapuuzia sana wenye wako na manyumba, landlords na landladies, tunapuuzia hiyo, but we've learned quite something and quite a lot of information. And now we want to wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, next week here on Brook, we'll discuss if you have issues with tax, what are the dispute resolution avenues that are there, and also what is things like tax compliance certificates. Why do you need to get tax compliance certificates? How will you get one in case you remit taxes, and in case you are told that you are not compliant, what can be done? We'll discuss those in the next series, in the next week here on Brook. But before we leave, asante sana Paul for coming on Brook Ushirikatv. Maybe as a parting shot, you can say something, and also you can tell the viewers if they have more questions, if they would want to reach out to you, how they can get to you.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor Kim, once again for hosting me here at Ushirikatv. Thank you, Ushirikatv, for the opportunity. It has been an interesting time for us discussing about the taxation. It's good to educate people about taxes because it's an obligation of each and every citizen to pay tax to the government. Yeah, if you want to get to me, we are located at Gong Road, Santa Estate. That is where we are located. And I can give my contact, yes, Pastor, if there is anyone with an issue, yes, that maybe you need an assistance from me. My number is 0723 061 453.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And you can reach out to him directly. If you have any questions, if you want to be assisted on anything, even as we wait for the next week episode, where we'll be discussing more about disputes, tax compliant, and the like. Until next time, this is Pastor Kim, your host on Brook here on Ushirikatv. Matthew 22:21. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.